On this week's episode of Black Girls Speak.
I work with the NAACP as the social justice
That's why I'm asking.
chair. So right now, I could talk about not even when's the last time, but I could talk about the most, the most, I don't want to say lamest one, like just come on. Like, so right now, thanks for having me. I'm Toeni Hudson. I don't know where to start. Well, I could just say that I'm a recent graduate from law school.
Talk about it.
I just did a 3-year stint at Southern University Law Center. Before that, I got my undergrad at Dillard University.
Shout out to DU right quick.
Big DU, in mass communications. And, I'm just a pillar of my community now. I'm the social justice chair for the NAACP here out in Baton Rouge. So I'm just trying to keep myself busy and keep myself moving as I continue to grow in this little journey of mine.
So I want to know, how did you get started? What because you just said at Dillard you did mass communications, but now you're into a whole different world. So tell me how you got started. What was that moment where you was like, this is kind of what I want to do now?
To be honest with you, I never really knew what I wanted to do growing up. Like, everybody used to always ask me, like, what you gonna do? Because I never even knew college was for me. So I'm like, I don't know. So when I first got into college, I knew I liked to talk. So I'm like, okay, talking, communications. So I went to a different school before I came to Dillard. So like theirs was just strictly communications. But when I got to Dillard, it was like mass communications. So I'm like, okay, mass comm, TV. And I always could see myself being on TV. I always wanted my own show. Like, for some odd reason, I promise you, like, I always wanted my own show. So then, school came and left. So it was like, okay, what you gonna do with that? Like, what is the best thing you could do with communications? In my opinion, it was to argue. So I was like, okay, well, how can I argue? So then I started to look into different career paths, and I was trying to find the best one that would like fit me. And honestly, being a lawyer just made sense for me because of my upbringing and the things I had been through. So like, as I'm looking and I'm searching and I'm seeking and trying to figure out what exactly I wanted to do, I'm like, ooh, being a lawyer to be tight. And then like, I'm like, people where I come from, we not lawyers. Like, I haven't really heard of a lawyer, don't know what lawyers do. So it was like, I felt like this was something new, something fresh for me, like really something, because like I'm a person that likes to try different things. So I'm like, if I could put my mind to it, I could do it. So once I said I wanted to be a lawyer, I'm stuck to it until it's done.
So you finished school, you got your master's. How was law school?
Law school was no joke. It
was harder than DU. I was saying, so it was like a little harder than Dillard.
It was way harder than Dillard. Like, Dillard was cool. Like, I really enjoyed Dillard. I swear I love Dillard to death. Like, I'm so glad I went there.
Right.
But going to law school, it was a different breed. Like, I'm coming to a place where I'm talking about, when it came to that academic work, like, being a lawyer is like, it's not an easy thing to do. So it's like, when you coming from a place where undergrad, I feel like completely for everybody, it's like, it's just chiller than law school. Like, when you get to law school, it's really like you're focused. Now you know exactly what you want to do. So you gotta like study how you need to study to even pass the classes. Like, the courses are just way harder. So I'm gonna say the first year for me was a huge transition, because I don't know, Dillard University was easy for me. Like, I passed that with flying colors. So like, coming here, and I was struggling my first year trying to understand how to legally write, legally research. Like, it was just so different. I had to whip into shape. Like, my first year in law school, I learned a lot. I learned
about
lot.
Life, or just
about school, like about myself, about discipline. Like, I never was a studying person. I never sat down and studied. Like, I never sat down and went through page by page, read everything on the page and flipped the page. I've never done that. I've never had to do it because school was just always easy for me. But here, I'm rereading, taking notes. Yeah, it was a challenge. And honestly, by the grace of the Lord himself.
I love the grace of the Lord.
Who helped me get through that, because it was definitely different for somebody like me.
So my next question, because You said so. Dillon is HBCU, of course. So you went to Southern, right?
Yes, Southern
Another
University Law Center.
HBCU, right? So now my question for you is: you did undergrad and grad HBCU, so it's all of us. How do you feel like that transition gonna be when you switch out from HBCU to going into the real world where it ain't that many of us? And many of us out there. How do you think that's gonna make you feel?
That is a great question. I'm glad you asked, because when I think about it, I'm grateful that I was able to be a part of something like this. Like, where I come from, HBCUs was never like, let's go to HBCUs. Well, I'm from California, for those who don't know.
That's why I am right now. Funny. Y'all, we switch places.
Literally.
We switch places.
And Cali is so diverse, as you can tell. So diverse. Like, you might be in a room and you might be the only Black person in there.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's what I'm used to. So coming to a place where it's fully Black people, I had to get used to that. You know what I mean? Where everyone is Black. So I feel like what you're saying, me going into like the real world and things like that, honestly, it's going to be still an adjustment, because now I've gotten comfortable, because around my peoples,
right,
I'm able to elevate. I really am able, I don't know what it is, if I got a connection with them or I don't know. But when I get around my folks, I elevate. Like, we be here, you know what I mean? So like, I'm able to build up to the ladder, network, use resources. So I want to be able to see, now that I'm a professional, now that I'm older, now that I'm more on tour, I can use these same principles, these same, ways that I used to get where I'm at now, if I could use this in the real world. I haven't gotten there yet, because I'm in a state where it's majority Black people. Like, a lot of the lawyers out here, I don't want to say I work with a lot of the Black lawyers out here. Right. So, and I can say that, it's been a nice breeze for me. I can say that because of the person that I am, how I articulate myself. Like, I'm looked at as like a nice one. So it's like, I'm good right now. But I'm not gonna stay in Louisiana. I'm looking to move, so I'm gonna have to tap back in with you and see how that comes, because I don't know how it's gonna be when I get out there, because I don't know if the people are gonna be like accepting of me like they do out here. They love me out here. I'm still thinking about if I'm leaving or not.
That's just, we show love. You know what I mean? We do.
Lots of love out here. Lots of love.
So I want to know how you balance it all, because I keep thinking, it's like, just an insider for y'all. We met in undergrad. That was our first time ever meeting. And I think we actually met when we both were, I think I was a CA and you were RA. I think that's like, oh, okay, you cool as hell. Like, oh,
sat at the same table.
Right. So after that, we hit it off, we clicked. But Toeni was, because my major was psychology and theater, her major was mass comm, so we never really saw each other a lot. We only knew because of what we did. Like, we worked in the same area type thing. Like, it was never like, oh, we had class together. So if you could think back to how you balanced it all in undergrad with the RA and the mass comm and
mock trial, everything.
Are you still able to balance your life right now as a lawyer? Because you got school. Well, now you're not even in school, but you kind of still are, because you still got to do all that reading, do all that research. So you got that. You got your social life. You got your romance. See, we gotta, because I'm gonna get into all. I need to know how you.
Let's get into it. Because these are some good questions.
You're a lawyer, bro. Like, you got a whole different world, Toeni. Like, you in a whole different mental space. Like, the Toeni, honestly, that's what I'm trying to tell you. The Toeni that I knew in undergrad is not the Toeni like, that's two different people, bro.
I've definitely matured, because I was wild in undergrad. Like, I was wild in undergrad.
I ain't even gonna try to put you like that. We both was wild in
undergrad. So like, I had to whip into shape, tighten up a little bit. Absolutely. But as it comes to like managing my time and all of this, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm still figuring it out, because it's so fresh and new to me. Like, I'm just now getting to a place where I don't have the commitment of school. But like you said, I just picked up a whole workload to take away from school. So it's like, well, damn. Now I gotta work just as hard as I was in school, because I work at a courthouse where I do a lot of work there. So right now, I feel like I'm doing pretty good. It's just really about, I'm a calendar type of girl. So like, I have to have my planner with me. Like, because if I don't, I'll mess around and miss something. I'll be having these meetings. I be having these things that's due, deadlines, and like that's so important. Like in the legal field, these deadlines, these dates, like those things be important. So I feel like I find myself coming into my own as far as like planning, as far as being more organized. And some things get put on the back burner at times, like I said, because I'm only one person. I can only do so much. I can only work on so much. So like a lot of my friends, they starting to get the short end of the stick now. I can't be on the phone all day. I can't be kicking it like I used to. I live in a whole different city now. It's just like I'm just in the cuts, and I'm just trying to figure out myself and figure out this way of life now, this new way of life. So I'm working it out. Step by step, day by day, really.
So as far as dating goes, because we're gonna get into it, I want to know how you're gonna manage that. How do you manage as a lawyer? How do you manage it?
Honestly,
you're
I'm
busy.
Be honest with you.
You're busy all day.
I have zero time for dating. Like I don't really date. Like it's hard because I mean it's hard dating in 2023.
I'm about to say, I ain't gonna lie, it's hard right now. Period. For anybody.
In order for you to even get to the phone number, it takes a lot when it comes to me. So it's like those who make it to the phone number, it's hard for me to even dedicate time. So I keep it up front and I keep it real with anybody I may be entertaining at the time, or anybody like, hey, listen, this is new to me. Right. And I really don't do relationships. I've only had one for real in my whole life, and that one. So it's just like, I'm really trying to figure myself out for real, as I'm like trying to be an adult while also trying to balance this career. So like dating to me on my list of things, it's not at the top. It's really not. Like I really like my peace these days. I like my quietness, like my little DIY projects around the house.
You feel
that's my type of vibe these days. And I could tell this is what makes me feel like I'm so mature now, because back in the day, I didn't want to be by myself. I wanted to have somebody over all the time and stuff like that. But now it's just like, I don't even care for that type of energy. Like if we not here, I don't even want to entertain it. So like right now I can say that I'm not really here with nobody. So I'm not really even thinking about dating. So it's like, I'm just chilling, enjoying my Tony time. That's what I call it, Tony time. And just, trying to be a better person, really trying to come into my adultness the right way.
So you guys heard it. She's not.
I'm single. I'm gonna make sure to put the Instagram, Snapchat.
I'm gonna put it all out. Yeah, we gonna link it. My girl said she's single. She just ain't got time, so you better come approach her, right?
Please come correct. Please.
We gotta dive into the podcast.
Okay, let's talk about it.
We must dive into your podcast specifically first and foremost, because I had no idea that she even had a podcast until I saw it on. Now, mind you, if I'm not mistaken, in undergrad, we used to speak about, oh, you need your own show, or you need to do this, or girl, what you waiting on, da da da. And then you remember it used to be you and Dom, so I'm thinking like, oh, they finna have YouTube. Like I'm already waiting on y'all to drop. Like, oh, they finna do it. But life happens and we get older and things happen. Like you don't really have the time that you used to have. So now that you have this podcast, you gotta tell me what happened. What sparked?
Okay, first,
what made you say, you know what? I'm gonna just do it. I gotta know.
And it's crazy because I always wanted to do it. Like I've always wanted. It wasn't even I wouldn't even call it a podcast. I always wanted to just have a YouTube channel where I was just myself. But then I'm like, in undergrad,
she has a YouTube where she posted a video from Dillard, and it had a lot of views.
That's no longer here no more. I definitely deleted all of that. I had to start fresh because it was a lot. It was a lot that went into that. But so like I always wanted to have a YouTube that like portrayed me, because I really like to think of myself as different. Like I'm not the typical lawyer that you're gonna see with the folks that you're gonna see on the TVs and stuff. I'm not that girl. Like I'm different, and I come at a different approach, and that's why I'm well respected. So I wanted to display that, and I've been wanting to display myself, but it was just like, sometimes I can get a little wild. I'm not even gonna cap. Sometimes I can get a little wild, and I knew if I did one with my friend, it was kind of extra wild. We'd probably doing some wild stuff on there, and I just knew I was gonna be a professional one day. So that's really what was the holdback. I'm like, I didn't know the content material I wanted to put out back then, because I wasn't sure if it was gonna catch up to me one day. Right. Fast forward, I done did law school. I got a PhD in life now. Right. I'm like, there's no reason why, and people really actually like to talk to me and stuff. So it's like, there was no reason for me not to, get on camera and display this side of me. And I really wanted to display the side of like, yeah, Toeni, like a lot of people know me for the wild side Toeni, and they don't know me for the professional side Toeni, or like the articulate Toeni. And then a lot of people know me as being the articulate Toeni, but they don't know that wild side. They don't know that chill side. So I wanted to make sure, like, I wanted to bring it all together with my support base being all over the place, and everybody want to check in on me. Everybody want to talk. I don't have time for that. Tune into the podcast. Like, tune in. Like, you're going to catch me there, because at the end of the day, I'm going to be updating myself. I guess you're going to see my face, but I just feel like I just wanted to take the professional stigma away from, like, lawyers are hella stuck up. They like
serious, strict,
like
uptight, yeah.
All the lawyers I know are cool as hell. So I was like, I'm about to show this side, and I'm gonna get some lawyers on here to show that side too, so people can know that lawyers are not as stuck up as, because that's what I thought they were growing up. Like, oh yeah, that's a lawyer. Ooh, you know what I mean? But really, they cool as hell. Like, I know some cool, great lawyers that I've been meeting. So it's like, I plan to be that one, and we're gonna see how this goes.
So you like it? So you like podcasting? Well, you said it's not a podcast.
I do like podcasting.
So you enjoy doing your show.
Mm-hmm.
How many episodes do you have out so far?
2.
Okay, so we
got 2 episodes.
It will be in the description box. I'm gonna put it all there. I need everybody to take
Legal Talk and Libations. Check me out.
So, as far as politics go, because now I gotta get into anybody who know me know my podcast was before it was full of just information.
I love your podcast. I love your podcast. You already know since day one. I've been a supporter since day one. Like,
I be trying to give the people quality information, but I also try to balance the fun. And I feel like towards the end of my season, I was giving too much information that it overloaded myself. And then the thing happened, and it was a lot. But now I have somebody who is super keen, super insightful on what it means to be involved as a Black woman in politics, especially you coming from California, somewhere that was so diverse, full of different people, and now you're in the South, where we're heavy on politics because it's not really that fair. Because like I said, you've been there long enough to know how they treat us in the South. So I want to know, because I have so many questions about it, but I really want to know. I really, really, really want to know. When was the last time you saw an injustice in the South?
I work with the NAACP as the social justice
That's why I'm asking.
chair. So right now, I could talk about not even when the last time, but I could talk about the most. The most, I don't want to say lamest one, like, just come on, like. So right now, I don't know if I can give the names fully, but I'm gonna just give a little synopsis of what the case is going on. So right now we're dealing with something in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where there's 4 guys right now being arrested, or they are arrested at the moment, for the murder, accessory to murder, also in rape of this LSU girl. She's white, they're Black. The NAACP, the NAACP got behind the movement along with a lot of prominent Black attorneys in Baton Rouge to basically dig deep into what happened, because something's just not adding up. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about it. And this is just one of the things where it's just like, damn, like, we just always in a place where we can never just, we always looked at as the bad guy. So basically, long story super short, a white girl goes to a bar party-ish at a place. There's hella people in there. She ends up leaving with 4 Black men in a truck. You can see her get in a truck with these Black men. They went to a cul-de-sac. I don't know if, it was talk about exchanging of sex, of course. It did not happen. They ended up dropping this girl back off up the street from the bar, per her request. She's drunk. She ends up walking, trying to get back to that restaurant to get her phone, I assume, or we guess, because she didn't have her phone. The phone was at the place where she left with the guys. She gets hit by an Uber driver and dies. She gets murdered, basically, by the impact of the car, because she walked across the street. She was so drunk, they didn't see her. So the mom And this is where like social injustice comes in. The mom's like, we know why she died. She got hit by an Uber driver, right? That's the cause of her death. Impact of a car. The mom hears the story, of course. She's like, no, there's no way that my daughter was walking about across the street by herself. There has to be more to the story. There has to be more to the case. Okay, what do you think happened? Well, let's run it back. She goes and she gets the tape. She sees her daughter, gets in the car with these 4 black guys. So now she's taking this story, which is what she did. She took this story and ran all the way to the heavens with it. Because now these men are actually arrested for it and they didn't do absolutely nothing. According to DNA evidence, which the NAACP paid almost $10,000 to get this to get this autopsy report. There's a lot of so many things that's happening with this case right now. It's just it's real bad. Like, DNA exonerates these men. Like they could literally walk out tomorrow just based off of the report that was just given, along with all of these other inconsistencies. But yet these men are still sitting in prison for this rape and murder of this woman. So these are the certain things that I deal with. She was not raped. There was no penetration. Mind you, the warrant that was signed for them to even be arrested said she was anally raped, sodomized, just all type of shit. There was not even any penetration according to the autopsy report. So why are these men still sitting in jail for something that they did not physically do? We don't know. So these are just one of many things that goes on like this. So, it's a lot. Honestly, I take a lot of the calls that come in from people around the city that has complaints. So I hear it all the time. I'm hearing them all day, every day. So that's one of the ones that's kind of sitting on my heart right now, because these men they're boys. I don't even want to say men. They're boys. They're not even 18. They're young boys. So it's like, it's just not looking good for them. Also, but they got a lot of supporters right now that's trying to, the movement trying to get them free. But
I appreciate y'all being behind them too, especially because if y'all wasn't, you already know what happened to them.
Over. They wouldn't even have there wouldn't even been an autopsy report.
Yeah, they would have just been in jail.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have a question.
Keep them coming.
That one, I'm gonna have to look into that myself, because now when
I'm gonna send you the article. It's crazy. I'm gonna send it to you.
So as a black woman in politics per se, you just said you hear a lot of cases, you hear a lot of craziness.
A lot.
And this is just a personal opinion. I just want to hear. You know how Malcolm X said, the most disrespected, protected, unloved woman in America is a black woman. Do you, especially now being in politics, doing the studies, going to school, do you agree with that statement?
I definitely agree with the statement. I just feel like, I don't know, I just don't feel like we're valued as we should. Like, if you think about a black woman and you think about all that they go through, all that they endure, just being them, not thinking about anything else, just them, we should be on a pedestal so damn high, nobody could take us off. Just off of the strength of what we go through and the things that we have to see and all of these things. But in today's world, definitely not. We are like degraded at every chance we get. Like we can't even the basics. We can't even have the basic chivalry of man opening up a door when we walking in these days. We can't even. I'm sitting. They saw us taking all the seats. I'm standing up like I'm working.
Right.
It's just like the disconnect, the bridge, the space between respecting a black woman and actually doing it is just so far away. So I don't know what the cause. I know what the cause is, but I don't know what the solution is really, because this is getting worse and worse.
It is. So now that I've heard you say that, which I'm so happy we agree, what advice do you have for a black woman that's trying to get into politics? Or if answer that question, and then I want to know, do you think that it's important for us to be involved in politics, and how involved should we be?
I would say, what I would say to somebody who's trying to get into politics, come into politics with your own mind and don't back down for nobody, because you'll get in these spaces where you may feel like the majority may go against you, but if you stand firm in what you believe in, you may have a chance. I don't want to say you will, but you may have a chance. You have a better chance because we have a lot of people not saying anything. We have a lot of people not doing anything. So the fact that there would be somebody trying, there would be somebody attempting, that says a lot for us alone. And the second question was, is it hard? You said, is it hard to be coming into politics? Oh no, how should we be into politics? Or like how we, honestly, I think it's important for us to be involved in politics because who's going to speak for us besides us? It's not the men ain't. They sure not going to speak for us. They not giving no craps about what's going on with us and how we feel and our rights and the things that we need. It's kind of like we're like the quiet ones in the room. Like we in the room, but we not being able to raise our hand and talk for real. They not calling on us in the room. It's more so, you know, people in the front, the men, the white men, the black men. Like you get a black man before you get a black woman. So it's kind of like, true. We gotta come together as women and really like bogart our way to talking. Like we gotta push, and because allowing it to happen is not gonna happen. It's evident. Look at it. Like we still ain't even had a black president, female president for real. Like,
I mean,
so it's just kind of those things.
No shade on T, but we really can't count Kamala because I'm really iffy about her.
We don't know, and that's the problem. We need somebody that we ain't got to question. We need somebody that we know is on our side. We know, we see. It's evident by the things that they're doing. I can't name one thing she done did for anybody of our tribe. So it's kind of like I can't necessarily say she's for us when she ain't did nothing to be for us. Like really, like, your color may say that, but what is your action saying? What is your action saying? So don't let me be president.
Why?
Don't let me.
Look at me. Why? I would love
all my black folks. All my black
we
folks.
Going hard.
My
we
black
going
women.
hard.
They getting put into these positions. Like,
I think
the black woman is the best creation on earth. So I don't understand why we don't.
Do you think
like
it would be good for us to have a woman, like a black woman, as a president? Like, do you think?
I would. Imagine this. Imagine this. You go to a classroom, right? You see a white classroom with a white teacher, and you go to the black classroom with the black teacher. What classroom is more in order? The white teacher or the black teacher? Just off the flat, a black woman teacher or a white woman teacher? Them, I don't want to say this, but like the white classroom be like turned up, no discipline, no get together. They going crazy. But let me go into Miss Johnson's classroom. Them kids know what's up. They know what time it is, and I'm taking that as an analogy to if it was a presidency, like like.
Yes. Right. Like
you ain't even have a stage. You gonna get whipped into shape at the least. It's gonna be an attempt to get things in order at the least. You know what I mean? So I just feel like, yeah, we're gonna have to have that happen one day, like for sure. I hope I'm alive to see it.
I swear, me too. I hope I'm old and gray and be like, yes, I waited for this.
I've been waiting on this.
No, but for real.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna take up too much of your time, Tony. You're a busy woman. So
I love it here.
I already know. You know, I give the energy.
I'm about to have you on my show.
Oh,
while we playing.
You already know we gonna lock in with that. We ain't even gonna tell them what we talking about. We just gonna lock in. Y'all heard it here first. We gonna lock in.
Say less.
So my last and final question after that, it's a wrap for this one. I need you to tell any black woman who's trying to do what you're doing, give them some advice. Because they see it. You gotta give them that advice. They need to hear it. Because they see it. Like I keep telling y'all, if you guys met us in undergrad and meeting us now, we're two completely different women. We don't even think the same. We don't even have the same vernacular. So again, my
final question
to you is, what advice do you have for a black girl coming up trying to do the same thing you do?
One, just figure out exactly what you want to do in the field. Like that helps. Figure out exactly what you want to do in the field and plan. Honestly, the planning has gotten me to where I'm at now. Like I didn't just spontaneously overnight make this happen. There was a plan from day one when I got into undergrad. Then I went to mock trial and I started the pre-law program. Like it was like a steps that like I was building up to the ladder and getting up higher and higher and higher. And I did not give up. Do not give up and just keep striving for greatness. If you're not being great every day, then what are we doing? You just got to keep working hard at what your goals. And really, honestly, the best advice I can give is don't worry about nobody but what you got going on.
Say it again.
Getting to your destination.
Yes, love.
This is your path. You are in control of it.
Right.
Nobody else can tell you how to live your life, how to do your life. You control that. And that alone will take you
to the moon. I love it. I love it.
Thank you for having me on here.
Toeni, thank you so much for freaking joining me tonight. I'm so happy you took some time out of your busy schedule to
always.
You know, of course we gonna tap in for the next, you know, but another shebang. Especially on
have some.
I'm excited to be on your podcast. Hopefully I'm in town when you want to do it so we can be in person because that's gonna be fire. But for the most
come to the stew.
You know it, of course. I'm so happy you did this. Thank you so much. You were so insightful, gave so much information. Ugh.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
And you're a black woman, so you already know I had to put you on here.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much. The encouragement. Amazing.
I gotta let her go. You know, she busy and stuff. I can't be taking that too much of her time. I can't sit
anytime I can take out time for you though. You know that.
You feel that one? Every time, bro. It's always you. But of course, thank you for watching Black Girl Speaks. Again, I'm your host, the Godmother. You already know I see you, I hear you, and I love y'all. See y'all in the next episode.
Bye, y'all.
You know it.